What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new video here. So I got a wild one for you today. So let's just get right into it. Donald J. Trump was inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States, and we're going to get right into the meat of his speech. We're going to talk about what exactly did he talk about, what are his priorities for his second term, and before we go any further, again, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm. Amazon links and products I use are in the description. So if you want to buy any of those products, I get a commission. So it helps the channel out immensely if you do that. So let's just get right into it, guys. Donald Trump, inaugurated president, wild day. You had all the stars there: Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Everyone came. Uh, Very wild day. And again, it was different because it was in the Capitol Rotunda, which is not usually common. Usually it's outside, but it was too cold, apparently, to hold it outside. But again, I'm skeptical. I think it might have been more of a security thing, but again, who knows what the real situation was. But let's talk about what actually matters and the emphasis of what he talked about in his speech. We're going to show you some clips too of some interesting moments. So let's just get right into it. The begin and by the way, guys, there is apparently going to be a theme of unity in this speech. I didn't see that at all. I don't know what exactly is going on there. I thought, frankly, it was a absurd speech. It was absolutely ridiculous. The fact that again he campaigns on an anti-war premise, and then a big portion of his speech is about manifest destiny and expanding U.S. territorial borders, talking about invading Panama, annexing Panama, talk basically naming Mexico as a terror, or excuse me, the cartels in Mexico as a terror designation. And a lot of people don't know what that means. What that means is it gives Trump the authority to strike Mexican cartels, basically attacking them without authorization from the US Congress, which is, of course, insane. It basically gives Trump the ability to wage war against Mexico. Again, the key thing, guys, Trump campaigned as a peace president and an anti war president. I'm not sure how any of those things aligned with that message. So I think it's a disgrace. Again, we'll get into that. The first line of his speech talks about we're going to end the weaponization of the previous government of the Biden administration. Um, Again, basically talking about his own prosecutions, obviously, saying we're going to end that. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean he's going to attack or go after the Biden people, or does it mean he's actually going to end? I don't know, but obviously a shot across the bow at Biden and Harris. Again, in the beginning of his speech, very condescending towards the previous administration, which is just interesting considering they're standing right there. He says the golden age of America is back. We're going to be greater, stronger, and exceptional than ever before. He talks about how there's a crisis of trust ripping the government apart. It rips the government response to a number of issues, such as the North Carolina, saying there wasn't enough federal response, which of course has been combated. He brings up the California wildfire issue, which saying the government is not there, not prepared enough, which is kind of interesting considering there are Republicans in Congress and Trump himself. I'm not sure if he said anything about this, saying there should be conditional aid to California on wildfire relief, which that doesn't really align with what he's saying there. So that doesn't make any sense. Why would you condition aid? That kind of shows you're not in full support of the people there. So I'm not sure what the deal with that is. This part just infuriated me, and we're going to show a clip of this ranting against the establishment, saying we're back, we are a cog in the, we're going to destroy the cog in the machine of the establishment. Meanwhile, as he's saying this, guys, you have in front of his cabinet, the first row, he has Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bernard Arnault, Elon Musk, all of these rich technocrats sitting in the first row who basically bought off Trump, it seems, sitting in the first row, guys, and he's ranting against the establishment. Meanwhile, this is the richest cabinet in the history of the United States, billionaires all around in his inner circle. How are you ranting against the anti-establishment? Meanwhile, guys like Joe Rogan, by the way, who got up apparently who were anti-establishment, that's how they made a name for themselves. Now they're best friends with Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk at the inauguration. It's an absolute disgrace. It's a con, and people fell for it. It's a joke, and I'm just gonna rip into this speech, guys. The hypocrisy all around in this speech is an absolute disgrace. Here's a clip about the anti-establishment. It's unbelievable. Let me know what you guys think. Here's the first clip, guys.
Trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens but provide sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people.
Again, it's absolutely amazing that he's making these kind of comments about the establishment and how he actually has the gall to claim that the administration and the establishment is extracting wealth from its citizenry. Meanwhile, you have Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these technocrats in the first row. They're probably laughing as this is happening. I mean, it's truly unreal. Anybody can fall for this crap. It's actually insane. The period of American decline is over. He discusses. And then he actually gets into some divine intervention, saying he was saved by God to save the country. Tell that to the firefighter who was killed. He wasn't saved by God, apparently, to Trump. But Trump claims divine intervention, that he was saved by God to do this. And then he says, which I think is pretty wild, that we need God. So he's basically kind of breaking that. America is very famously known separation of church and state. Trump breaks that, saying that no, we need to have God, which of course is a pivotal moment in American history, as the president in his inaugural address is saying the country needs God and it is an essential part of our country. It's shocking. He calls it Liberation Day from the Biden quote unquote regime, which of course is another shot at the Biden administration. Biden and Kamala, for the most part, weren't really standing, other than a couple of moments of unity, I guess. Like, for example, Trump said we're going to go to Mars, which of course Elon Musk. I mean, he had like a spaz attack. He was going nuts, like a child in the air. We're going to go to Mars. We're going to conquer Mars. He calls it the most consequential election in American history. And again, he keeps calling out the vicious polarization of the government as if he didn't play a major role in that. Again, it's shocking to me how he claims that the establishment thing is just insane. I'm going to get into it right now. The anti-war guys, the fact that he claims that he's an anti-war candidate, a major part of his speech is literally expansion of the United States. Where are the right wingers who claim they voted for Trump because he was anti-war? Where's the guys like Dave Smith, for example, who claimed he was anti-war? Like, I don't understand how anyone defends that, but they have nothing to say because a lot of it isn't really about policy. It just is not, and I just think it's just ridiculous. I really do. He calls it the hard line and corrupt establishment. Again, a lot of this stuff, guys, if you're noticing, it's very hypocritical in many ways. Um, again, so he talks about we're going to tariff people. He's talking about on day one, we're going to institute tariffs against countries who do not give us fair trade deals. And again, guys, I think tariffs are okay in a number of instances on particular products. When you put tariffs on every single good, it'll just raise prices for the consumers, which I'm not sure people even know that or to even care. I'm just curious in a few weeks from now when egg prices don't go down. Are these people going to like call it out? Are they going to say anything, or is it going to be crickets? My guess is it's going to be crickets, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, Biden's laughing a couple of times, basically when he's calling out the establishment. He says we're going to bring back remain in Mexico, orders troops to the U.S. border. Not really that surprising. One of the craziest things, guys, that I think maybe the most insane thing in the entire speech is when he says he's going to bring back free speech. I mean, are you kidding me? Donald Trump's going to bring back free speech. What an absolute farce. Just to be clear, guys, some of the things that Trump's done showing his free speech record. He recently sued Ansel Teltzer for a poll that he didn't like. He sued CBS for how it edited a Kamala interview. He sued Simon and Schuster for a Bob Woodward book because it quoted him wrong, according to him. He threatened to delicense news outlets who don't agree with him. He wanted to punish flag burning with a year in jail. He sued CNN for $475 million for calling election denialism the big lie, which it was, and it was thrown away, of course. Sued Bill Maher for $5 million over his orangutan jokes. Supports opening a libel laws for journalists. Calls for jailing journalists who reported on the Supreme Court ruling. Wanted to deport pro-Palestine protesters. He gag ordered the EPA from telling the truth on climate change. He arrested and charged January 6th journalists with felony rioting. He didn't pardon Assange, Snowden, even though he said he was going to. Where's all the free speech libertarians on that issue, by the way? He didn't do it his first term. Let's see if it happens his second. My thing is no. Is he going to release the Epstein list? Of course he's not. Let's just be honest, guys. If I'm wrong, I'll happily say I'm wrong, but we all know that's not going to happen. He wanted to deploy the troops against the George Floyd protesters, and he called it, of course, famously, terminate all rules and regulations in the Constitution. Obviously, it doesn't align with free speech at all. He says we're going to drill, baby, drill, and I'm going to bring up the clip, guys, where he talks about divine intervention in God, because it is, in my opinion, quite dystopian that he's invoking God here. Again, it kind of plays into the God complex of Trump. Pretty wild. Here's a clip, guys, of Trump and the divine intervention part. Here it is.
Beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. Thank you.
Okay, so again, it's just pretty insane that he's invoking God here to say that he was picked to basically save the world and save the country. Just, I think that's insane. Let me know what you guys think in the comment about that. Again, the fact that he's calling for expanding territory while campaigning as a peace president, I'm not sure how that aligns with anything that he was supposedly going to do. The one interesting line, he said that we're going to go to Mars, and that actually did get applause from Kamala and Joe. And then again, we talked about it before, cutting to Elon Musk. Basically, we're going to annex Panama. We're going to go after Greenland. The entire thing is just insane. We're going to end DEI, which he talked about, back pay for all soldiers who were did not get the vaccine. But again, it's concerning a lot of what he says he's going to do, in the sense where there's a lot of unknown, because this is not what he said he campaigned for. So what I'm curious to see is, what is Trump and his people going to say about this? What are people on the Young Turks, like Cenk Uygur, by the way, who said MAGA is anti-war? What is he going to say? Is he going to call out Trump for this speech, or is he not going to? Is he too afraid? Anna Kasparian, what are they going to say? Because a lot of these so-called progressives, I mean, and I like Cenk a lot. I mean, I think what's going on now it's officially, okay, this is getting a little concerning. Are they actually just doing the grift? Because if you don't call them out for this, it's over, man. This entire thing is a disgrace. We got to figure it out. It's going to be an interesting 4 years, but I'll be there with you. So make sure to like and subscribe again. Super good for the algorithm. Interesting speech. Trump inaugurated President Biden. Again, pardoned his entire family. Pretty wild stuff. We'll get into that another day. Interesting for a number of reasons. Make sure to like and subscribe. Super good for the algorithm. Amazon links are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Again, even if you don't agree with me, I appreciate you watching the channel and supporting the channel. I want a big audience here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.